Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 1139. Our solve count ever climbing closer towards 1200, which is whereabouts the game is roughly due to end, I think, give or take. So, around these parts, we just got gold. And we did one more. There's 15 here to get to ruby. We want one more gold window to get to 20 gold windows. But the only one is the secluded garden that is not gold, so is it time to maybe pick one of these and just kind of commit to sitting down to solve it? 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 6, 7, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 5, 7. Right, I found a 5. Maybe that'll be where we start. Otherwise, it's memes for those on the internet the last few weeks. Or years, I don't know. How long has 6, 7 been a thing? Good grief. Okay. Well, it's difficulty 5, and the lighthouses, the watchtowers, tell us a lot. So, we can start with a lot of this. Now, some of these, like this exists, but that can exist just as equally. So, have that to keep in mind going forward. Like those must change the rules there and equally here. So we'll do that in a second, but first of all, we're gonna do this. So we got Watchtower, Palisades. Oh my god, the whole thing is 2 shapes because the rose window. I was just so focused on doing this bit of colouring in to start. I hadn't even gotten there. So they have to be part of one thing, which means that has to do that. And okay, that is not actually built how I first anticipated it being, because this tile here and here are absent, so it's actually those. And then this whole center section is screaming that it's unhappy with me. We have the same thing here. Yes, I understand that you don't like the way this currently looks, but until I can find something else to do about it, it's going to be how it looks. Game. So those have to do that. It's also loopy. So because it's loopy, we can start with that. If I just knock out all of these centerpieces, because I know these centerpieces will have to be colored the same color as their edges, I can try and start building up some pieces of this. Honestly, looking at this hellhole, I might just do this and try and picture it in my head in the other areas, because there's just so much noise for lacking any signal in a lot of that. So let's work with the stuff that we know. We know that these are red. So if the outside is blue, we know that these are red because they can't be the same color on both sides of a wall. We know that's true. That must do that. This is the same color as that, is the same color as those. We know that that line must exist, that must exist, and that must exist in those corners. What else can we gather from all of this? This might be the puzzle that I've seen so far that has the most cells in it. It's like well over 200 cells. Loopy Watchtower, Palisade, Rose. So the whole thing is 2 colors. That's the thing that I'm trying to internalize most. These must be split horizontally. But we don't know if they're vertical splits or horizontal splits. It's just them figuring out where on earth do we try and draw a line between the various segments, and indeed, do they end up like various segments overall, right? So that can't exist with a line there or a line there. Does that mean this all has to be one section? Well, this could come in like this. That would be a different way for that to exist, and then this would make some kind of path around to the other reds. The other option of this being this being true. God. There's so much stuff and so not enough for my brain to be going off of here. If we look at this, so all of these have to be part of one color because of these watchtowers. And we have these palisades in the corner, which say it must either be this, or this, or this, or this. But there's nothing that dictates how those will then bend towards one another or not. Okay. This cell is red because it's on the other side of the blue. So all of that is red. Which means this one is blue. Or green. I really picked terrible colours for this, didn't I? The default was green. I just picked blue because it was closer to a bluish green. So there's green. And because it's green around the whole outside edge, this has to be red. This is red. That means this has to be red. And then the same is true there as well. So those will have to be red. That means that if there's exactly 2 regions total, the green is going to have to take from the edges certain routes to get to other parts of the center of the puzzle. So we can put those lines in. Those lines in. And those lines in. So now we have kind of slightly more options for thinking about how this goes up and over or not. If this, let's just start with an if and then swap. So we have the bottom right corner here. This is our test corner. And we're going to test horizontally. So it would be this and that, which puts that together and grabs those, which grabs these. It can grab that whole side. Hypothetically. What it does with that, though, we then have green on this side. And then that would have to be green up to there. That would have to be green. That's interesting. So this has to be red. And so that has to join that, which means that can't go. Let's just assume that to be true then. And if we break that down, we then go to this. And we know this has to be red. That's going to pick that up and take those and join this at the edge. So that, I think, is the correct orientation of this, and that's going to have to cut through that way so as to not have the same color on both sides of a wall. That's okay. Then that eats those and this. Now, this has to be blue to get two colors on here, which is interesting. So that would be blue. That would be blue. That would be blue. That traps in red. And that's not viable. Which is its own problem. How do I resolve that then? If this is horizontal, red, 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 red. But we can't have the same color on both sides of itself. I am stumped again. I don't see how this can resolve at all. So you're red. You're red because you're on the other side of a line that exists with blue. I really am just completely ambiguous on whether I pick blue or green to say in my sentences now. Apologies. So if we do horizontally, that gets to there. That goes to there. This has to have a line to work off of. If that gets out, then all of this is red as well. I'm really befuddled now. So once again, red. If we do this as that way then. That was the way that goes. That means this has to be blue, going around the ones and around the ones. Can the red escape here then? I guess it can that way. Is this even remotely getting towards correct? I have no idea. We know those can't exist. But this could exist is the problem. If we just assume that this is happy, can we do a similar thing on this cross and see if we can't resolve something? So if we assume this goes horizontally, then that takes that and 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 that. And then that takes that and 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 that. Oh, we can't have 3 colors meet on an edge here. No, that's fine. Because I could just join it to that, right? Now, I've made, with this pinch point that the red must pass through. And so if the red must pass through it, it must go. That's green. That's green. And those are red. Can this resolve? Use you. Let's not do that. Is all of that happy? So that's gonna join the red together. Red, 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 red. Green. Oh god. No. Red. Red. It was a slow start, but we got there. Once we kind of got on pace as well, like once I committed to just trying to make this work, resolving it with this, like it was fine. It was just, I don't know how else I would start that puzzle without picking a bifurcation, getting stuck, undoing it, trying the other path and whatnot. But hey, I'll take it. 2 of 34. I guess I should look for a 6 with rules I like, perhaps. Shapebank Rose, Gemini Delta. Ain't it? Boxy Rose Watchtower. I could probably muddle through, do you think? So Boxy and Watchtower are going to give some very specific limitations, I think. Because we think about, let's say, this tile. That tile can only be part of either this box or this box. Now, if this box has to exist, that means that has to exist. That would put that there, but that's 2. So that's no good. So who gets this one? Nobody. Because that can't exist, and that can't exist. So I think that means you belong to you. I think. Now, if this has 2, this is going to be true for all of our 2s, in fact. None of our 2s can be corners, because a corner isn't boxy. So all of the lines that indicate a 2 are going to bifurcate something in half, apart from the 2s on natural corners. Now, how is that going to go with the 3 next to it? Oh god, how does that make the 3 go next to it? Ignore this for now. How do we do a T on this 3? That serves up we can't do that as a box. We can't do that as a box because it doesn't get a rose. We can't do that. So right open is no good. Top open is no good. Left open. I think this might come a little lower. That's a little ambiguous right now. But this left side now works, which is nice. A good little 2-3 thing to get us started. Now, this can either do this with this, or it would be something horizontal. If it were horizontal, it would have to be that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Oh, okay, let's ignore all of this right now. We got a much easier in. This 3 must exist like that on the corner. Also, I didn't see this 4 here earlier either. So this 3 on a corner means you're an area, and you're a different area. You can only make a box with that. To make a 3 out of you, you have to take that. For this to get a tile, it has to be you. This has to draw up to a line somewhere. That can do that to resolve the top edge. I do believe. That has to take that. That has to take those. We can't put the T there. Therefore, it must be there so that those can take those. No? No? Maybe not. Could do that. That's good. 2 on a corner. And this 3 is a little tricksy. Alright, don't need that X, don't need this ambiguous mark, just to do the center now. How do we do 3 on you? That's a fantastic question. Okay. How do I do a T on you that has a target on all sides? That's empty. Oh, okay. What if... Beautiful. See, give me the right constraints and my brain will fly through a puzzle. Alright. Knowing that it's all 6s and 7s up from here, we are going to stop a little bit premature on my typical half hour, otherwise we will be here just for an hour, I'm sure. But more progress, for sure. I'm hopeful that there are puzzles here that have just mechanic sets that my brain agrees with, but we will find out in due course. For now, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.